Welcome to the things that bother me. Today's topic is about the cost of living crisis. Why working people can no longer afford basic necessities like food, rent, and healthcare, even while working full-time. This video breaks down how survival has replaced stability, why the math no longer works, and what everyday life actually costs now. If you've ever wondered how anyone is supposed to live like this, you're in the right place. These are the things that bother me. In the richest nation on earth, millions of Americans are discovering they can no longer afford to live in it. This is not about luxuries. This is not about vacations, new cars, or fancy homes. This is about food, shelter, healthcare, utilities, transportation, the basic requirements to exist in modern society. For decades, Americans were told that hard work guaranteed stability, that a job meant security, that the middle class was the backbone of the nation. But today, millions of full-time workers are skipping meals, delaying medical care, living with roommates into their 40s, and choosing between rent and electricity. This is not a temporary crisis. This is a systemic collapse of affordability, and the consequences are reshaping American life in ways few are prepared to admit. Section 1. The cost of existence has exploded. In the last 2 decades, the cost of basic living has risen far faster than wages. Housing costs have surged. Rent and home prices have outpaced income growth in nearly every region of the country. Healthcare expenses have climbed relentlessly, with insurance premiums and out-of-pocket costs now rivaling rent in some households. Food prices have escalated, with staples becoming noticeably more expensive each year. Utilities, transportation, insurance, and childcare, once manageable, are now major financial burdens. The result is simple. The cost of existing in America has skyrocketed, but wages have not kept up. For many workers, real purchasing power has stagnated or declined, even as productivity and corporate profits have surged. The American economy has grown, but the American worker has fallen behind. Section 2. The disappearing middle class. The middle class was once defined by stability, home ownership, savings, retirement security. Today, that definition is fading. Middle-income households increasingly live paycheck to paycheck. Emergency savings are minimal or non-existent. Retirement is uncertain or postponed indefinitely. Home ownership is slipping out of reach for younger generations. Down payments require decades of saving, while mortgage rates and home prices soar. Many Americans who would have been considered middle class decades ago are now effectively living one financial shock away from poverty. A medical emergency, a car repair, a job loss, any of these can trigger financial collapse. Section 3. Work no longer guarantees survival. Perhaps the most disturbing reality is this: work no longer guarantees survival. Millions of Americans hold full-time jobs yet cannot afford basic necessities. The social contract has broken. The promise that effort equals security has eroded. Gig work, contract labor, and unstable schedules have replaced traditional careers. Benefits have disappeared. Pensions are rare. Healthcare is tied to employment but increasingly unaffordable even with coverage. Workers are more productive than ever, yet their share of economic gains continues to shrink. The system rewards capital, not labor. Section 4. Corporate profits versus household struggle. While households struggle, corporate profits have reached historic highs. Major corporations report record earnings, executive compensation soars, and shareholders celebrate. At the same time, consumers are told inflation is unavoidable, that prices must rise, and that sacrifice is necessary. But sacrifice is not evenly distributed. Working families bear the cost. Corporations and financial elites capture the gains. This is not an accident. It is the predictable outcome of policy decisions, market consolidation, and a system designed to prioritize investors over citizens. Section 5. Social consequences of unaffordability. When people cannot afford to live, society changes. Birth rates decline, families delay or abandon plans for children. Mental health deteriorates under constant financial stress. Homelessness rises, not just among the unemployed but among workers. Crime, addiction, and social instability increase when survival becomes uncertain. Trust in institutions erodes when people feel the system is rigged against them. Economic pressure does not remain economic, it becomes political, cultural, psychological. It reshapes the nation from the inside. Section 6. The illusion of progress. Official statistics often paint a positive picture. GDP growth, stock market highs, low unemployment rates, but these metrics do not measure affordability. They do not measure quality of life. They do not measure whether people can eat, sleep, and plan for the future without fear. An economy can grow while its people fall behind, and that is precisely what is happening. Section 7. What this means for the future. If current trends continue, the United States will become a nation where home ownership is a luxury. Healthcare is rationed by income. Retirement is optional and rare. Basic living requires multiple incomes or perpetual debt. The middle class will continue to shrink. Wealth inequality will widen. Social cohesion will fracture. A society where survival depends on financial privilege is not stable. History shows that prolonged economic pressure eventually leads to social upheaval. The question is not whether change will come. The question is how painful it will be. In closing, America was built on the idea that ordinary people could build ordinary lives with extraordinary dignity, that a factory worker, a teacher, a truck driver, or a clerk could afford a home, raise a family, and retire in peace. That dream is fading for millions. Today, Americans are not asking for wealth. They are asking for stability. They are asking for the ability to exist without constant fear of financial collapse. When a nation prices its people out of basic necessities, it is no longer just an economic issue. It is a moral crisis, a political crisis, a civilizational turning point. Because a country where people cannot afford to live is a country that cannot last as it is. The American people are being priced out of their own nation, and the consequences are only beginning. Thank you for joining me once again. If any of this sounds familiar, you're not alone. This is everyday life now for a lot of people. If this video hit home, leave a comment, share it, and subscribe. More videos are coming because this isn't going away. This is the things that bother me.